Okay, so am I audible, guys?
Yes, Kesari.
Okay, so we'll move to the next part of algebra, that would be inequalities and how to deal with it. So tomorrow, what we had dealt with, that was a normal equation part. As to if I give you a linear equation ax plus by is equal to c, you will find the solutions. Let's see when there's no equal to sign. What if there are inequalities and some modifications related to it. Also, guys, the update with the worksheet part of algebra would be, I want, do you guys want individual worksheets of each topics like this, or do you want a collective worksheet?
Collective case study, because in that case we will be getting overhead of how to identify which question and
Yes,
what will it be.
yes, because that is what I was working on. Others, I would like to have your opinions as well.
Yeah, separate should
Collective
be
will
fine.
do.
Collective.
Okay, okay, sure then. We'll go to the collective part. So, what's the basic difference of inequality? Inequality, we will have A is equal to B. Now, what will happen in inequalities? There can be two different things. You can have A greater than B, A less than B, and to bring a new change, there might also be equality signs. It should be greater than or equal to might do. Now, how do we represent that on a number line? You guys might have heard how to include and exclude. Uh, this representation is done in two formats. One, where we use the number line, and when not a number line, how we represent it through brackets. So let's say I give you, tell me all positive numbers, which, and I say positive, let's modify it. Let's say positive integers, which are less than 5. I'm saying just less than 5. Now let's see how
One,
will
two,
we
three, four.
yes, I know that. So how will we represent it in brackets? So that would be, you can wait, yeah. So it will be 1, 2, so on, 4. This means an excluding bracket. So if I give this solution, that means 1 and 4 are not part of the solution. So that would be wrong. So what would be the correct answer? It has to be like this. This means including bracket. Let me reduce the width of this black pen. Yeah. This is your including bracket. Now what you will have here is, you are including the extreme values. So if I have to identify this, this would basically be 2 and 3, but this will give me 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is this part clear, guys? Everybody, the brackets part? Because trust me, a lot of silly mistakes happen in this brackets part, a lot. Okay, so to say, if I give you like this, if my solution is, which all numbers would come in the solution, please type in the chat box privately. Which all numbers would be part of the solution? Which all numbers are uh, expressed using this system? Yes, correct, perfect. Others, I have received one more responses left, I guess. Janvi, I haven't, yes, okay, almost everyone's received. Yeah, perfect, great. I see you guys have mastered that one. Okay, so with this one, let's move to how the number line is represented it. So quite simple one, not very tedious. So coming back to that, the positive integers less than 5. So let's have a number line. Okay, let's have it straight for so let's have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Since 5 is to be excluded and not included, I will have a hollow circle here, and rest all I will have solid circles. Why? I have just asked you guys integers and not numbers. If I were to ask you numbers that are less than 5 and are positive, how will you express it then? Simple. You will have complete continuous line. All the numbers on the line will represent the numbers, but still 5 will be a hollow circle. Why? Because the question was less than 5. If the question was less than or equal to 5, all positive numbers less than or equal to 5, this can be a solid circle because equal to is also mentioned. Complete filled circle means it is included. A hollow means it is excluded. Now tell me guys, and that has to be in the chat box, I have asked all the positive numbers. Should I include 0 or should I exclude 0 in the chat box? Let me repeat, I have asked all the positive numbers. So should I include 0 or should I exclude 0? I'm amazed with the mixed response. Others, I haven't received all the responses. Okay. All right. I get the idea then. See, guys, like I mentioned, I think in one of the lectures previously, is 0 a positive number or a negative number? 0 is neither positive nor negative. It's at the borderline. You can't consider it as a positive number. You can't consider it as a negative number. When I ask you, give me all the non-negative solutions, I'll include 0 and all the positive numbers. If I ask you, give me all the non-negative solutions, then non-positive solutions, I can go from minus infinity till 0. But if I ask you just positive solutions, this cannot be included. So I ask again. Yeah, Prerit, you are telling no. Sorry, I did not get you.
No, it was the answer of previous one. 0 should not be included.
Okay. So now, if what I have told you, would somebody like to change the answer of the previous question, or will it still remain same? If you would like to change, you can. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Casey, like once you said us that 0 is a even number. So that says that 0 is a number which is even. So why can't we include 0 in this?
Like I said, 0 is neither positive nor negative.
Okay.
And we have even and odd where it does not have negative numbers. See, why I specifically stressed on this? There's 3 domains: positive, negative, and the 0 part. The confusion always comes across here. You guys will be completely fine here. You guys will be completely fine here. The only issue where you guys will face is here.
So the negative set includes 0 or not?
No. It does not include 0. Neither the positive set includes 0.
Okay. So it starts from -1 to minus infinity.
Not
And,
-1. If you're talking about integers, yes.
yes. So yeah. The values between 0 and 1 are also there.
Yes. If I talk about numbers, that's why what I will have here is an empty circle. because that would be excluded. It's not a positive number. Okay, let me tell you something. If I ask you, did you get a positive score and have you got, and if you have got 0, what will you tell me?
No score.
Exactly. I mean, I won't wish that you get a 0 score, but still.
0 negative score, that would be fine.
It's not called 0 negative, it's called a non-negative or a non-positive.
Okay.
Generally, that is why, to avoid the confusion, generally it's what mentioned people. Like generally, you guys might have heard, to clear that sectional cutoff for this, you should get, if the paper is very tough, there are some exams, I won't name them right now, but they generally have, you should get a non-negative score. That means even if you get a 0, you can clear the cutoff.
Okay.
I hope that makes the doubt clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So this is what we have with the convention part. There's not much theory here, but the few ones that we can more have is, and I'll come to it. So guys, the number line and the brackets, is this part clear to everyone? Anybody, any doubt? Ask me right now. I'm giving you 30 seconds to recap. This is you have here. If you have any doubts, have 30 seconds, ask me anything, else I will move forward. Okay, I see there's no doubts then, great. Moving forward, and now coming back to properties and calculations, how we do in inequalities. So let's say if I have A is greater than B, if I add a positive number to both the side, okay, if I add a positive number to both the side, will this still, this inequality sign still remain the same, or will
Yes.
it change?
Yes.
Okay, others? A and B are any numbers, I don't care, they are, if one is positive, one is negative, both are positive, both negative, anything. Of course they are not equal because there is no equality sign, but if I add a positive number to both, and same positive number, I am adding the same positive number to both the sides, will the inequality sign still hold?
Yes, Casey.
Others, I'm waiting for your response.
Yes, case.
Okay, all right, great. If I subtract a same positive number, will it still hold the same?
That depends.
Depends on,
The numbers A and B.
okay, all right, let's see others response as well. Others, I know it's 8:15 or 8:20 and your energy might be down, but not that down. I mean, I had full day of meetings and I'm still here to teach. And if you guys wish, I can teach till 12 as well. Okay. So Trilok says depends on A and B ka values.
No, the number should the number which is subtracted should be greater than A minus B.
The number should be subtracted should be greater than A minus B. Okay. Okay. Let's take an example. 7 is greater than 2. If I subtract 5 from both the sides, will the equality still hold?
Yes.
Now, if I subtract 10 from both the sides, will the equality still hold?
No.
Yes.
Why not?
-3 is greater than -8, obviously. So
Yeah, yeah.
A simple fact, guys.
Yes.
When we have the number line here, the number on the right side is always greater than the number on the left side, on its left side. Same goes for negative. Minus 3 is greater than minus 8 because minus 3 is here, minus 8 is here, sorry, and minus 3 is on the right side of minus 8, therefore it will be bigger. So it does not depend. If once this equation, sorry, not equation, if this relation is held, and if I do fair calculations, by fair calculations I mean I subtract or add the same numbers on both the sides. And if I add, I have to add on both the sides. If I subtract, I have to subtract on both the sides. The inequality would still hold. This, irrespective of any values you have, that doesn't matter. Is it clear to everyone now? The ones who are telling depends on the values now? Okay, let's move forward then. Now we had addition and subtraction. Let's move to the new part, multiplication and division. Same again. Let's see, you have A and B. If I multiply and A and B are, it can be anything. One can be positive, one negative, both positive, it can be anything. And I will give you time to analyze this one. I will give you a minute. If I multiply both the sides by the same number and it is not 0, so that part is clear. Will the relation still hold? Will it change, or what will happen? I give you 1 minute, think on it, because you will face some cases, trust me. Think on it and type in the chat box, and I want all the responses bundled together, not scattered. It depends, Trilok. If it's positive, I will multiply both the sides with the same number. That's why I gave you. It depends on cases. Think. And I want a collective response, no scattered ones. I've given you 1 minute. Take 30 more seconds, guys. Interestingly, I can see mixed responses. That's great. You are analyzing. Good. Okay, so 1 minute is up, and yes, I can see quite responses, different ones. Let's see how it happens. And yes, some of you, what you have said is quite correct. It will depend on a lot of cases. So let's say C be that number, and this would be LHS, this would be RHS. So if C is positive, so AC will be the same sign as A and BC will be the same sign as B. If that is the case, the equality sign would hold. If C is negative, that means AC will not be the same sign as A but the opposite side of A. BC will also be the opposite sign of B. It has to be, it will change. In that case, the inequality sign will change. Let's see an example. Let's say this is 5, this is 2, and let's take C as 3. So 15 would be greater than 6, naturally. Now, same goes for here, 5 and 2. If you multiply it by minus 3, this would be minus 15 and this would be minus 6. And like we saw here, okay, I erased that part, never mind. The number on the right side in a number scale will always be bigger than on the left side, and minus 6 is on the right side. So the polarities change. I hope now, yes, I could see almost everyone had this part clear. So is this part clear, guys? It was quite a basic stuff. I mean, you might have saw it. I just wanted a recap. There's nothing new in this part I'm teaching here, but just a quick recap.
But if
Now,
Kesari, you
yeah, go
continue.
ahead.
So I was saying if A and B have different signs.
Okay, let's take an example. A is 5 and let's take B as minus 2. Now multiply both with 3, what will happen? 15 and minus 6. Will the sign same?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now let's change the polarities. Now let's multiply it with minus 3. We will get this, right?
Yes.
So did it change?
Yes.
So both of them covered, right?
Okay. So it is irrespective of the signs of A and B.
Yes, yes. It won't see. This is already taking the initial signs of AB ka take care, right?
Yes, yes.
So it will. You don't need have to worry extra.
Okay, yes.
Now let's see what will happen in the division. If A is greater than B and if I divide it by C, I will give you 1 minute again. If you want, I will give you 1.5 minutes this time. This can be a little trickier. Like before, I want a complete condensed answer, no scattered ones. To repeat again, A is greater than B, you are dividing both the sides by C. I'm receiving quite similar responses like before. Let's see. 30 more seconds, guys. Okay. Yes, quite some of you have quite represented good ways of expressing yourself. Some of you have said won't change. Some have said same as the multiplication part. And okay, let's see. For here, just to create simplicity, let's take examples initially, and we'll continue with the same one. A is 5, B is 2. So we have A is greater than B. Now, if I divide it by a positive number, so let's take C as 2, right? That works. So this will be 2.5 and this will be 1. It remains same. Now, what if I take a negative number? That would be, this will become minus 2.5 and this will become minus 1. Naturally, the signs would change. Have I covered all the cases? Or some cases are left?
Divide by 0.
No. C is not 0. Like I had said before. In the multiplication also, C is not 0. Division by 0 is not allowed in maths. You cannot multiply both the sides by 0. You cannot divide both the sides by 0. That criteria is used for making means on maths, not equations on maths. Have I left any criteria or are all the criteria covered?
Covered case.
Okay. Anybody who thinks I have missed something apart from 0? 0 is off limits. Okay. There's one more interesting case, and that is C greater than 1 and C less than 1. I know whatever might be the results, but this is one more case. We have already seen this C greater than 1 when we took C is equal to 2. What if C is half? What would happen then?
It will still hold.
Yeah, it will still hold. It will be 10 and 4.
Okay. Yes, 5 divided by half would become 10 and the opposite side would be 4, and so you will have the same sign, and same will be the when you have the negative one. So like Prerit had mentioned, it will be quite similar to how you have in the multiplication part truly, because like addition and division are inverses of each other. Division and multiplication are inverses of each other. This is additive inverse. These both are known as multiplicative inverses of each other. Just to let you know, what is the inverse of exponents?
Log.
Yes, log it is. When you have a raised to x, you go into exponents. So how do you come back to it? You use log. The base will vary. If you have a here, you will have a here. If you use e here, this will be called natural log. If you have 10 here, you will have log to the base 10, which is a standard one that you find in the calculators. You will just basically find this. We'll see log as well when we solve questions on algebra, mixed questions on algebra, when we have that round. Log, you can be asked one question maybe, and that is purely basis of what is log. You don't need to know the value of log, that is not required, and you won't even have to calculate it. Basically, the properties of log is what will be expected of. Okay, so with all this part done, also now some extra operations, and that would be if a is greater than b. Now I leave it up to you guys. What is the sign of a? What is the sign of b? Totally up to you. If I square it, what will happen to the sign? I gave you 30 seconds. Think and write in the chat box. 30 seconds. Asik, I had given you 30 seconds and you answered me in 2 seconds. Now what did you do for the rest of 28 seconds? May I know?
No, because it is clear if it is square.
No, it is
Obviously,
not clear. It is not clear. There's a reason I gave you 30 seconds to think. Sometimes when something large or big is offered to you, utilize it.
yeah, I've been thinking of this.
Time is a very rare resource sometimes. Okay, so a lot of you have answered. So let's begin. Yes, if a and b are positive, naturally a raised to n and b raised to n will retain their signs and it will be same. But what if it is negative? What if minus 2 is greater than minus 3, right? Now if I square it, Aswik, what will happen?
Yeah, it won't hold.
Exactly.
If it is odd powers, it will hold. नहीं तो it won't hold.
Yes. For the odd powers, it will hold. For the even powers, it won't. The sign will change. If I had taken the cube, this would have been. But if I have the square here, this is what happens. And generally, of all these identities that we are discussing, the reverse hold true as well. A raised to b, n is b raised to n. A raised to n is greater, and n is positive. You might have a situation where the sign might change. Why? Because initially a and b might be negative. And this is how basically confusion questions can be created or inequalities. See, in inequalities, you won't be asked a question where, how I can say, you won't be asked questions where it is too difficult to interpret or too difficult to analyze. The questions will be difficult when there are way too many cases to consider. And if you go on considering all the cases, you might eat up 4, 5, or 6 minutes. And that's why I want you guys to have all the clear-cut ideas as to what all cases can be. In inequalities, you won't find a tough question that you cannot solve after 30 minutes. No, like numbers, you might have some questions that are very tough. It might take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes. In equations, you won't have that part. You can at max 10 minutes if it's very tough. 10 मिनट में तो हो ही जाएगा. It will happen in 10 minutes. The only problem is it took up your 10 minutes instead of 2 to 3 minutes at max. Because like two minutes is the boundary. If you're starting, if you're not even halfway after 2 minutes, that question should be ideally dropped. I mean, not now, but in the exam point of view, yes, definitely that has to be dropped if you're not even halfway till 2 minutes, because that is ideally that is a question to be left out. If you have already done all the questions and these types of questions are the only ones left, then you're good to go. Otherwise you are not providing justice to the other questions. So this was the powers part, and operations part was the same. So uh, we had discussed arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. Anybody knows what is the relation between them?
E square greater than h.
Sorry, I could not hear
A
you.
square equal to GM.
A square, no, that I had discussed. A square is equal to GH. I want the inequality between them. What is the inequality between them? I know A square is equal to GH. That I
I
discussed.
guess
G is
har-
greater than H. G is greater
no
than
harmonic. Okay.
Okay,
Harm-
first Ashwin go. Huh?
okay. Harmonic mean is greater than G and G is greater than A.
No.
reverse.
Yes, it is reverse.
Geometric mean is greater than arithmetic mean, then harmonic mean at last.
So you wish to say, is this is what you want to say?
Yes.
No, you're wrong again. Anybody who would like to correct? Anyone?
Geometric, harmonic, and finally arithmetic.
From smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest?
Biggest to smallest.
No, even your order was not correct. This is the actual order. Arithmetic mean will always be greater than equal to geometric mean, will always be greater than or equal to harmonic mean. And when will be the cases when you will have this? When you will have this? When will we get these cases? When all the three numbers would be equal, or all the two numbers, whatever be the number. If they are all equal, you will be given with these cases where arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean are all the same, all are equal. All right. Let's take an example itself. Let's take two numbers. So let's take what 6 and 4. 6 and 4. Now, what is the arithmetic mean?
5.
5. What is the geometric mean? Roughly, I want the rough answer.
Square root of 24.
Yes, so roughly 4.9 something. Approximately 4.9. Yes. Since these numbers are very close to each other, we still have this greater. It will not be 5 because for 5 it had to be square root of 25. And the same will happen for harmonic mean. How do you calculate harmonic mean? Harmonic mean is 2ab by a plus b. And this is what you have. When you will calculate, you will always have less than 4.9. So this is how you will get it. Is this part understood, guys?
Yes, yes.
Anybody any doubt? If you want, see, you can take any three set of numbers, two numbers, go and calculate. This will always come. Now, this is what you will have when, like I said, the equality you will get when the numbers are equal. Now let's move to the new one, and that is modulus or as we also know it as absolute value. And how do we deal with that part? Anybody any idea of what is absolute value?
Without consideration of the sign.
Mm, okay, I will accept it. Partially correct, yes.
Distance from the origin.
Sorry?
Distance from the origin, irrespective of the sign.
Yes, yes, you're almost there. Almost there. You're quite correct. I mean, the graphical representation is spot on. So, like Uttam was telling, yes, graphically it is distance from the origin. So, if I give you, let's say on the number line, -5 and 4. So, what is modulus of 4? Is 4. That is basically distance from the origin, correct? And what is modulus of -5? It is 5. So, yes, it is distance from the origin. Absolutely. If I have to define modulus or the absolute value, I would say it returns the value x when x is greater than 0, but it returns -x when x is less than 0. So here the number is -5. What did it return? 5, which is equal to -x, because x is equal to 5 -5. So -x would be 5. If the number is positive, it will return positive. If the number is negative, it will return its negative value. Is this part clear, guys? Anybody any doubt with this one? Anyone? The properties of models are quite basic and simple. You won't have that much difficulty in that. So I'll just list it down. It's no simple, fast, hard and fast. So in modulus, if it is 0, it will always return 0. So the other ones that you will have is for any two numbers, like let's say I take two real numbers x and y. So the basic properties would be, if modulus of x is greater than 0, then -x commodulus will always be less than 0. I know seems standard, but sometimes if questions are asked, having such things in your mind helps. That's why I'm just writing it. And this is very important. This one, a lot of questions might be asked. You might have even faced it in your 12th standard or so. If it can be anything, x and y real numbers, sign does not matter. It can be 0, it can be negative, it can be positive, anything. This is always written on or equal to. The opposite happens when the negative part is there. So for the negative part, you will have this. And what is the range of value of this? Any number that would be this to this. Finally, we had here addition and subtraction. What if there's multiplication and division? Well, then we will have x into y is equal to modulus x into modulus y. And same goes for division. Provided, because there's an important fact to consider in maths, y is not equal to 0. And I had discussed this thing previously as well, but just stating it, and that is this one. Because x square always returns a positive value. You guys can note it down, or if you guys can remember, that would be great as well. And I will give you 30 seconds if you guys still noting it down. Have you guys noted it? If it's done, then we'll move to the example part.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone, or you still need time? Okay. All right. Then let's move to the questions part. This is what the theory is and inequalities and modulus. Okay. So let me start from pretty basic one. That is the equations one, and that would be, let's say, I will give you an equation that is 13x minus 4x. Sorry, not this one. My bad. 13x minus 19 is greater than 4x plus 26. I want the solution in the interval format, that is using the brackets. I hope the round and square brackets are present on your keyboards. Answer in the chat box, and you have to use your notations part. Just the basic questions to start with. Guy, Manideep, I have not given any restriction on X. Yes, Uttam, correct. Manideep, your answer is partially correct, but Aswik, I have not put any restriction on X. Spandana, same. I have not put any restriction on X. Yes. No, one mistake is still there in your way of expressing. See, if I've given it as an objective question, you guys might have definitely cracked it. That's not an issue. Prerit, no, you have some calculation issue. Yes, now it's correct, Manideep. Yes, Aditya, correct. Aswik, Spandana, your answers are not correct. Others, I'm waiting for your answers. I'll give you 30 more seconds. If you guys need to go back at your notes and look it, have a look. Prerit, the number on the right side is not correct. Otherwise, it's fine. And Spandana, like I said, I have not put any restriction on X. You are putting a restriction on X. X can be any real number. Here, X belongs to real numbers in this equation. No restriction has been put on the X that is present here. Okay, let's see to it then. So here it is given, if we simplify it, we'll give 13x minus 4x is less than 19 plus 26. What we have here is 9x 45. I can divide x, I mean both the sides, by 9, and I would change the sign. We have easily seen it how. So this will be x is less than or equal to 5. Now, since x belongs to real numbers, there's no restriction. I can go completely on the left side of the number line, that is still minus infinity. But there's a convention. Like I said, there is no number called infinity. It's just a notation. That is why if we place any infinity, we just exclude it. We never include that part. But all the numbers till 5 will be included, and 5 will be also included because of this. That is why this will be a solution. This is your close bracket, this is called open bracket, so this is open bracket. Spandana, you missed the negative solutions because x belongs to real numbers. I had never said x has to be positive. Okay, Janvi, I haven't received your response. Did you understand it?
Yes, Kesri, I done it.
Okay, all right, great. Priya, I guess I haven't received your response as well. Did you understand it? Priya, am I audible? Anshula, I haven't received your response as well. Guys, am I audible?
Yeah, Kesri, you're audible.
Okay. All right. Well, when I even have my classes, half the time the teacher has to confirm whether the person is audible or not. So it happens. There I get to experience it from student side. Here I am experiencing it from the other side.
What do you take classes for? You already know everything.
No, not this class.
Okay.
My normal class, the MBA that I'm going through.
You're
Our
doing an
class.
MBA?
Yes, I'm doing an MBA
From where?
from I am Ranchi.
From I am Ranchi.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So is this part clear?
Yeah, Kesri.
And okay. All right. So let's have the final one. The question, not the final, but still, this would be a notch higher, I would say, in difficulty wise. So if I give you two numbers, that is, and now the easiest question. Okay, Anshula, no, it's okay. So if I ask you the easiest one, and that is this, or this. Now it's up to you. Give me the answer, guys. Okay, Prerit is quite quick. Prerit, have you solved this question before?
No.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll give you 1 more minute for this, guys. After that, I'll pick it up. Okay, I'm receiving quite interesting ways of answers. Interestingly. Okay, so hopefully I haven't got this part. So let's strike it off. So I've received the other ones. I've received this. I've received this. But interestingly, there's one more. Never mind. So you can have two approaches, and I will share both of them. One is standard approach, and one not so standard approach. Uh, so let's ask from people first then who have given me the answer. So the first answer that I had was from Prerit. Prerit, how did you solve it? And that too in 3 seconds.
It's just the base that decides. Like I took an example.
Okay.
Suppose if we take numbers 3 and 2, then my answer would be not correct. But numbers greater than 2 and 3 would give the first as the option.
Okay. Mm, the method is still crude because it works in some cases. It does not work in some cases. It's like I'll tell you. It's like you defeated your brother at your home and you proclaim to be the Olympics winner.
It's a trick question, right? So people would think that the base number is greater times the power, so they would definitely go for the second option.
Yes, yes, it is a trick question. I
That,
totally agree with you. But
that's
please
why I took the first option.
don't use that method again. I understand you can get that solutions from that. But if you get stuck with that, it can hurt sometimes.
Yes, yes.
I'm fine with that method. Like I said, it's a crude method. It will give you solutions and answers. It will save some time naturally. When I use such crude methods to sometimes get through the tough questions, but it can be tricky sometimes. It can be dodgy. Okay. So if I multiply b by 51, then what will be your answer, guys? Everyone, A or B, which would be bigger? If I multiply b by 51, this
B
will
would
still
be greater.
be, yes, and this will become 51 raised to 51. So naturally, this will be bigger because the powers are same and both of them are positive. So this, but we do not have that part. So let's divide it. Let's divide A by B. What we get is, no, better divide B by A because the base is greater in B. So we have here 51 raised to 50 and 50 raised to 51. Let's take this 51 outside. So we'll have 51 by 50
Kesari, we
raised to
are dividing b by 51, right?
no, no, no. This was just to let you know what would happen.
Okay, okay.
This is different. This is the actual scenario. This is what I had asked. Okay. So B by A, what we'll have is here this into 1 by 50. Now, let's concentrate on this. What will this be? 1 plus 1 by 50 raised to 50, right? Into, of course, 1 by 50. Now, any idea of what will be the value of this? I know this is not something which I've taught, but I took up this question so that you guys can even understand it. And the method I'm currently discussing is kindly not so standard one.
Are you asking the remainder, Kesri?
No, no, no. I am asking the approx value. What do you think would be the approximate value?
1.
This. It's not one. There's one more homework I would give you based on this. Google it. And that is or 0.99 or 1.01. There are two versions of it.
It's between 1 and 2 K3 because 1 by 50, if we raise to a power of 50, it will keep on becoming smaller and smaller. So it will be a very, very, small value. This 1 by 50 will contribute a very less value as
Okay.
compared to 1.
Let's take one thing. Put any value of x. What is the minimum value you get? Let me know. Put any value of x. Any value, positive. It has to be
1.5.
positive. And what did you put?
1.
You put
2,
x
2,
is
2, 2, sorry. 2, 1 point, sorry, 1.5 squared I'll get.
Two 2.25.
yes, 2.25. So I'll let you know this, guys. I know you guys won't know it, but this value always lies between 2 to 2.8. Always. But this can be derived using limits of the calculus. We won't go into derivation part because that is not that is expected from you guys to know in details. If you want it, we can discuss it some other time. But this value always, let me erase it and write properly. This will always be greater than or equal to 2 till 2.8, provided x is greater than 0. You'll always have this value. Now, what is this? It can be 2 to 2.8. Let's take what, 2.4 for simplicity. Let's take the average value. So b by a would be 2.4 by 50, or if this would give you something is equal to 1 by x, where x is greater than 1. Now b by a is less than 1. So what would that mean? A is greater than b or a is less than b?
A is greater than B.
Exactly. This is how we arrive. A is greater than b. And second is the crude method that Prerit had used. Yes, you were quite correct. But like I said, it is still dodgy, guys. If I give you a higher or a higher number, the difference becomes so narrow that you cannot segregate using such crude methods. Like this is still okay. If I give you 1000 raised to 999 or 999 raised to 1000, this ratio, this starts moving towards 2.8, more towards 2.8 as the number gets bigger and bigger and bigger. When the numbers are very small, when the number is 1, you will get this value. When you start going from 1 to say infinity, this will go on here and here. And that is where the crude method can be dodgy sometimes. So yes, the crude method does work. And Prerit, what you were telling, yes, it is a trick question, but this will be a not so common method. So do remember it this, guys. Whenever you are faced with such inequalities, when there are two numbers and opposite of them are given, and it is asked to let you know, this is basically the ratio that you might use. I mean, this is the standard template, I would say. Initially, you guys must not know it, but now, yes, this is what you will use.
K3, I have one doubt.
Yes, go ahead.
For example, here the two numbers are 50 and 51, and the difference is only 1. But if we
Yes.
have numbers which have a difference of 25, 30, or maybe 1000 at times, like 1000 power 2000 and 2000 power 1000. So for that also this thing holds the same.
You won't use this method then, because the numbers are not very close.
Okay.
Like if I ask you 2 raised to 4 and 4 raised to 2, the numbers are not close. 2 raised to 4 is
16.
But why are we facing this issue here? Any idea?
Because the difference is more than 1.
No, the difference is very low. Like the number you were mentioning, this and this, the difference would be high. Why? Let me tell you. Okay. This is right.
Yeah,
Is it
Casey. Yeah.
and what is this? Now you can solve it. And can you see the difference?
Very big.
That's it.
Okay.
Here we got it equal because the difference was very small. And it's a coincidence here. Like if I use 3 raised to 4 and 4 raised to 3, you will have a big difference. This will be 81.
Yes,
This
Casey.
will be 64. There's a big difference compared to these numbers. This was a coincidence, unfortunately. But here, 1000 ka square, you will have 6 zeros. Here you have 3 zeros. If the power is same, see, comparison part, like I said, you will have to use ratios. First, try to bring it to the same power or same base. The initial step would be either try to make the power same or the base same. If none of them work, just use the ratio part.
Or Kesari, can we do the prime factorization of the number and then we'll get everything in terms of 2, 3, or 7, and then we can,
No, you will unnecessarily complicate it. You won't. You will arrive at something, but that something won't lead you to a result.
Kesari, I think applying log on the both sides can also simplify this.
Yes, it will always. But the thing is, log table is not provided to you, and the calculator that will be provided to you won't have log. What you're stating is absolutely correct, Uttam. It's like the easiest solution, and that is why log was invented. So that we can handle exponents using a normal addition and subtraction. But we cannot use log here. If you remember the value of logs, that's great.
But Kesari, like how do the values of log vary? For example, log of 1000 and log of 2000. So is it necessarily important that log of 2000 will be greater than 1000?
Of course, it will be.
Then we can still
Let me
apply
tell you.
log,
Let
right?
me tell you the properties of log today itself. We'll end today's day with the properties of log. So log if I put a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 1000, now do you understand? Log 2000 is greater than log 1000.
Yes, Kesari.
That's the point.
This would be 1002. So
Here you will have in the bracket 2000, you will have 2 and here 1000. Now you can take any value of base you wish. You can take x is 10, x is 2, x is 1, x is anything.
and in
If you,
comparison to 1000 power 2000, it would be 2000 into
and one more, there's one more property of log, that is if it is a by b is log a minus log b, and if it is a raised to x, when you put log is equal to y. If you put log on the both sides, you will have x log a is equal to log y. So if the question we had 1000 raised to 2000 and 2000 raised to 1000, right? So
yes.
let's put log on both the sides. You will have 2000 log 1000, and let's take the base as 10 for now. Here we will have 1000 log of 2000. So this will be 6000 because log 1000 is 3. base 10,
Yes, Kesri.
and this is 1000 into log of 2 plus log of 1000, that is 3. That is 3000 plus 1000 log 2. So from this we can cancel 3000, and this is not equal to. Now definitely log 2 is less than 3, right? Log 2 का value is less than 3 because log 2 का value is 0.3 something.
Okay, Kesri.
So you will have here 300 and you have 3000 in comparison. Now you know this one is bigger.
So if we know only this property, like this particular property of a power x equal to y.
No, here I needed to know the value of log 2, right?
Okay, but Casey, it's like here we got 2000 log 1000 and 1000
Yes.
log 2000.
Yes.
So you
So what are you trying to say? I don't get you then. Aditya, are you there?
itself is visible, right? Log 2000 is bigger than log 1000. I'm saying log.
Sorry, I lost you
Hello?
in the between. Can you repeat?
I'll get back to you, Casey. I'll get back to you.
Okay, sure. Okay, guys, we'll do one quadratic equation with inequalities because that would be an important part and let's not miss it. So let me give you the question and we'll solve and also see how it is. So this will basically test all your learnings for the day. Now, what you have to tell me is the solution set in terms of brackets. There's yet again no restriction on x. Take 2 minutes, give me the answer. It shouldn't take more than a minute, but still.
Kesari, is it 2x power x in the denominator?
Oh, sorry, my bad. 2x square. Yeah. No Ashwik. No Prerit. You both need to check your answers. No Ashwik. Not correct again. 30 more seconds, guys, then I will pick it up. Manideep, the signs are not correct, I would say. The numbers are correct. Uttam, no, not correct. Unfortunately, you have done some calculation error. Manideep, please check your signs. The numbers are correct. Okay, I'll pick it up, guys. Otherwise, it will be a long delay then. So let me factorize the numerator, and guys, it's not tough one. It will come out to be x plus 8 and x minus 3. If we split the middle term as 8 as minus 3, this is what we will get. And the same thing when we do with the denominator, this is what we will get. Did you guys get it? Everyone?
Yes, Kesari.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then we are good to go for the first step. Now, let us cancel this part for time being. For time being, we'll come back to it. Let's not consider it because it is common. So what we are also doing is x should not be equal to 0, because if x is equal to 0, we are cancelling 0 and 0 from both the sides, and that would mean multiplication and division by 0. So we are also cancelling out one equation, sorry, one value 3. So let's say if our answer comes, any value from 2 to 5 will be the answer. There's some 3 which we will have to exclude. 3 will not come, so keep it in mind. Okay, now moving forward, what we have is x plus 8 by 2x plus 1 is less than 0. Now what we will do is, there are two ways to it. First, take it on both sides and consider each of them separately. That will take time. There's a shortcut to it, and not a shortcut basically, but an easier method. That would be if I multiply and divide both the numerator and denominator by 2x plus 1. Considering yet again 2x plus 1 is not equal to 0, that means x should not be equal to minus half. Otherwise it will become 0 both the sides, numerator and denominator. So it will be x plus 8 into 2x plus 1 divided by 2x plus 1 ka square. Now this numerator will always be positive because it's a square. So we can ignore that part. This not required. So let's consider this part. Now, if we plot this on a number line, that is, when will this bracket be 0?
If x is -8.
Yes, if x is minus hmm, x is -8. And when will this bracket be 0? When x is minus half. Perfect. Now, if I put any value in between, let's put -4. Check, what do you get? Do you get a positive? Do you get a negative?
Positive. Oh, no, negative.
Negative value. If I put -10, what do you guys get?
Then we get positive value.
Yes. And what if I put minus 0.25, which is here? What will you get?
Positive.
Positive value. So
Yes.
when will you get negative values? You will get only negative values from here till here. And you will get 0 for -8 and minus half, like we saw. So we will have to exclude this. That means hollow circles. So what will be your answer?
-8 to
Yes,
0.5, -0.5.
-8 till minus half, and this is where x will lie. Excluding them, not including them. Or I can give it -8 excluding, minus half excluding. This will be my answer. We'll discuss some of the more these things, like this thing will repeat itself in graphs and functions. Graphs and functions, I wish to club it together, because when we study both of those chapters together, it is quite interesting. Because using that helped me a lot during my 12th standard days. There are a lot of questions in calculus and algebra, which if you use graphs, you can solve it in 2 minutes. If you use algebra, you might take 5 to 6 minutes and still be wrong. That is why graphs and functions will do together, and it will be quite fun. I'll teach you how to draw various different graphs of any polynomials or various different types of functions. We'll see various things. So let's say if you have any type of algebra question, that won't trouble you anytime further. But for now, this is how the equations ka answer is to be noted down. Is this part clear, guys? Because we'll wrap up for today.
Casey, I have a small doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you scroll up to the question?
This was the question.
Yeah. So, Kesri, since this division is less than 0, so can I say that the numerator should be less than denominator?
No,
Why so?
it is not less than 1, it is less than 0.
Okay.
If it was less than 1, then you can say that.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Anybody any doubt?
Yes, sir. What if suppose mod x is given in the above equation?
Sorry, I lost you in the between. Could you repeat, please?
What if mod x is given in above equation?
Okay, so you mean to say everything is like this, right? Is this what are you trying to say,
So
Uttam?
what if
Uttama, your voice
yeah,
is not reachable. Sorry. Can you type in the chat box? Your voice is not clearly reachable here. Anybody else? Any doubt? Let's wait for Uttam to type. Uttam, can you type it publicly, the question?
I think he meant that if the whole of numerator or denominator is modded, any one of them, so then how will it change? I think that's what he meant.
Okay. All right. If the total one is modded, there's no point, because it will be always positive.
No,
So
no,
for
either numerator or denominator.
what if mod x is given instead of x? Okay, so basically this is what you are asking, if I mod everything. Okay, if I mod everything, this then there's only one condition. If this is negative, then this should be positive, or if this is positive, this should be negative. Then it will be a different solution completely. What if mod x is given instead of x? Yeah. Acha, only this part. Yeah. Anyways, this will still be the same. So I got your part now. So what you are trying to say is, in the question, if we are, let me get back to the question. So you're asking is x squared plus 5 mod x minus 24 and 2x squared minus 5 mod x minus 3 is less than 0. Was this what you were asking, Uttam? Okay. Okay. So if this part is given, proceed same. So split the middle element. This part till here, it will still be the same. Here till here, it will still be the same. This will get cancelled anyway. Still, you will still have this one. You will be left till here, and you will arrive till here. So here you will have this and this, because this will still be the same. Now modulus of x plus 8 and 2 modulus x plus 1. This will always return a positive value irrespective of whatever you put. This will always return a positive value. This is not negative. This is not negative. So the solution set is null, because neither will this bracket will never be negative. Had it been mod x minus 8, all the values less than 8 will give me negative values, but it is model x plus 8. Same goes for here. If this could have been 2 modulus x minus 1, I could have said between 0 and half, all values of x will give this negative. But this is plus 1. If two things ka product is positive, they are individually positive, there's no chance in the world that they will be negative. So the answer would be phi. Phi, this is the notation for null. I mean, no number. Is it clear, Uttam?
So Casey, the mod gets propagated into the further equations. In the sense, for example, 5x here, the x's mod got propagated over here.
5x.
Irrespective of
Yes. It will get propagated. Yes.
Irrespective of whether x squared had mod or whichever x squared or x had mod, it will get
X
propagated.
square is equal to, we had discussed this property, right? I had written it. Where did it go? See, remember?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if there's a mod in x square or not, but in x, yes, it will get propagated, because let me tell you, where is it? Yeah, this will get split up as and, right?
Yeah, Casey.
So naturally it will propagate. Definitely it will. You cannot write 5 modulus x as 8 modulus x minus 3x. No, even this has to be modulus, even this has to be modulus. Is it clear?
Yes, Casey.
Anybody, any doubt? Okay, then we'll wrap up for today. And tomorrow we will have 3 sessions at the normal timing. So probably tomorrow we'll have from the normal 4:30. I'll let you know the timings, and we'll have proper like 3.5 an hour session, so that we cover up whatever we lost today. So have some energy conserved for tomorrow. It will be fun, but still. Okay, so I will stop that.